What's up, everybody? This is, with all due respect, we are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Marcus Flowers. Brother, how you doing?
As you can see, I got an
We have a
uncooperative
mascot.
dog right now.
Yeah. I didn't
But
know we were bringing the mascot on today.
these things happen from time to time. She's decided she's going to hop up in my lap today. But
Oh, that's funny.
my mood is I'm feeling my age today. Just got back from, as you know, a week of travel in California, doing conferences and fundraisers. Very productive. A lot of good
Yeah.
stuff going on out there. But again, feeling my age, tired.
The work doesn't stop.
It does not
We all
stop.
we all look tired today, man. Like we're all
You
in the
haven't
green room
aged.
talking about our knees, our back. Oh man. Speaking of knees and back, we have an EMT and paramedic with us today who I've followed on social media we've followed each other on social media for a while. So I know he's a good dude and consistent with his message, which is one of the things I always like with candidates. So without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Bernard Taylor, who is a dedicated EMT and paramedic and the community advocate who has spent years serving and protecting the people of Florida. Now he's running for Congress to fight for affordable health care, stronger education, and economic stability that works for everyone, not just the wealthy. With a commitment to integrity, transparency, and real leadership, Bernard is ready to put the needs of Florida's families first. Brother, thank you so much for making some time for us today.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I feel like it's my duty to tell people that you just got done knocking 400 doors before you joined us, which is why we're a few minutes late. Because this man's got family stuff. He's knocking doors. He's raising money. Like, you're doing it all, man. So thank you for putting the feet on the ground and doing it.
No, absolutely, man. I appreciate you guys allowing me time on your platform, and I'm just trying to be an example and trying to lead by example, showing people how this thing can be done the right way. And you got to take it back to the old school, man. You got to get out here and meet people where they are and get out here and sweat in this Florida sun.
That's it. That's
Hear
it. Let me
that.
put that in perspective for people. Most doors I ever knocked at one time was like 100 doors. That's a lot of doors to hit in a
Yeah.
morning after a shift. So
I think mine was
Kudos to you, my
170.
friend.
I think
Kudos.
mine was, 170 was my most in a day. But yeah, nowhere near 400, that's for sure. and not it. Well, we're in the desert.
I live in a very spread out area too. So
Yeah.
rural Georgia, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
True. I was in one of those neighborhoods where it's like cookie cutter zero lots, so everything was like back.
Yeah, that's how
back
mine
to back.
is.
So
Yeah. 100 neighborhoods in the same amount of space that Marcus probably lives on. But with that, tell the listeners and everybody watching today about your journey. As from being a firefighter, paramedic, and how these experiences have shaped you, and is going to help you in Congress.
So yeah, man, my journey is crazy, man. I had no intention of being in the career that I'm in growing up. I'm not going to be one of the ones that tell you as a little kid I dreamed about being a firefighter.
Right.
No, that was not the case. I remember when I first got, approached about this career, it was like, I ain't finna run into no burning building. Are you crazy?
Like my mom was in there, I think, twice.
Yeah, but just for some strangers, you want me to go
Exactly.
the building on fire? But no, I always had a passion for healthcare and wanted to get involved in that. And when it was explained to me that you're not only fighting fires, but you actually get to work in the healthcare field, you get to work in emergency medicine and pre-hospital care, it piqued my interest. And I had some people in the fire service who became mentors to me. They kind of wore me down over the course of about 6 months, just kind of like, bro, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be perfect. You have the
We need you.
mentality, you have the focus. Like this is something that's right up your alley. And they wasn't wrong, man. I found a fire academy and EMT school to go to. Graduated within 6 months and was out here ever since, man. 6 years strong, and
Nice.
I don't regret it, man. It's the best job in the world, and I try to be in my community and direct young folks who really don't have a direction, kind of confused
Yeah.
about where they're going in life. And I got a part of this group called Geared Up for Fire, where we go around to high schools and middle schools and around the community and kind of educating the young brothers and sisters out there that just don't have any direction to really look at the fire service, because this career and this opportunity lifted me out of poverty from where I was, from sleeping in a car, couch surfing, to where I am now, comfortably living with my family and my children, and not really wanting for anything. And that
Yeah.
fire service. So, you'll never get me saying anything bad about this career, man. 'Cause I know where I was and where it's got me to now.
Yeah, man.
That's
Public service, for some of us, it's just ingrained.
Yeah.
And I know Marcus and I talk about it all the time with our guests. It takes a special person. And I think the fact that, you've built your career and your livelihood on public service, I just think that makes you particularly qualified for this. So, yeah.
It's a great thing. I mean, I'm one of those big proponents for kids who are, coming out of school and don't really have an idea of, what they want to do in
That was
life.
me.
Yeah, well, I kind of always knew I wanted to go into the military, but there are a lot of kids who don't.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, think about, serving for a little while,
Yep.
4 years, 5 years, 6 years, while you figure out what it is you want to do with your life.
I was 21 when I went in.
Yeah.
I didn't go in at 18. And
Yeah.
so I mean that's why I love what you bring to the table, Bernard, is because I was one of those people. I didn't come from like a terribly poor household or anything. I just didn't have a whole lot of direction,
Right.
from my family and everything. And then sometimes when you don't have a lot of direction from your family, you start latching on to communities that you shouldn't. And I did that for a while. And so, yeah, that's why what you do kind of, hits me personally, because I know that I would have benefited from somebody like you, putting their arm around me and just being like, look, there's a different way here, and maybe I could have found my way, to the service a little sooner. Who knows?
No, I'm the same, man. Again, I got into this profession around 28. Most guys,
Oh,
they're
wow.
like most guys, they're like legacy kids. Their dads were firefighters. Mothers, family was firefighters, so they know the game.
Yep.
So they got into this, 21, 22 years old, fresh out of high school, did everything they needed to do. I spent my 20s again, man, just trying to find my way. I don't worked every job in America, man. Construction, landscaping, out there picking fruits and vegetables. I worked in hotels, fast food. Like I did everything just trying to find my way. And again, man, I had someone early in life point me in this direction because, I tried the college thing. I had a football scholarship. I went out there to, do what I was supposed to do, what I was taught to do, is be good in school, be good in sports, and it'll make a way for you. And I wish somebody would have kind of grabbed me a little bit sooner. It's like, hey, you can play football and follow your dreams, but you want to have this in
Options.
your pocket for when the time comes. Because if I'd have knew about this after I tore my knee up, I would have been like, all right, it's time to be a firefighter real soon.
Time to refocus.
Yeah. As opposed to spending a majority of my young livelihood just trying to find my way. So I'm always advocating for young people. Anybody that reaches out to me, I'm more than welcome. Like I'll have a conversation. Like even in these platforms, I get DMs every day. People just kind of ask me like, what do I need to do to join the fire service? What are the steps? Like I live here. Do you know anybody here that can kind of guide me? And so that's probably one of the things that I find most fulfilling is being able to point so many people in the direction and to have them looking into these careers. Same with, my closest friends is crazy. Like my 4 closest friends who I consider my friends, they all joined the service, the military. So before if I wouldn't have found this, I probably would have been right behind
You'd have been right there with us. Yep.
And we all started late, man. I have my partner joined the Navy around 29. My other partner joined the Army around 28.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's been a lot of people like joining, little later than normal.
Yeah.
But hearing that story, I want to pivot back to your district because I feel like everything you just said explains why you are built for this job, why you should be in Congress, because you understand what cost of living is. You've lived you've lived kind of at the bottom of the economy, and now you're in a better place. And I feel like hearing your story, that's kind of what's gotten you here. So what are your goals, when you're elected, to help the people in your district with the current cost of living crisis we're all experiencing?
Actually, listening and hearing, like you say, man, I'm not far removed from where everybody is in most of the country right now. Like
Yep.
I'm doing well, but I'm not. Hey, if I miss a paycheck,
Gonna be
it
in
ain't no
trouble.
joke. We gonna
Yep.
be in trouble around here. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And that's the majority of Americans right now, man. We
Yes,
can't
sir.
afford to be,
Oh, yeah.
miss a paycheck. We can't afford to have an injury or a sickness that keep us out of work too long. And I'm in that same boat. And again, I'm somebody that's not hurting. And I can imagine for someone in my position that's not hurting. Imagine people who are working 2 to 3 jobs just to get by.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
some of the things that I think we need to tackle, especially here in my district and especially here in Florida, our homeowners insurance crisis is crazy right here in the state of Florida. Like, it's very hard to find good homeowners insurance, and even finding homeowners insurance is very, very expensive here, because of some of the policies that have been put in place over the last 5 years by our local and the state governments as well as the federal government. We have solutions to the homeowners insurance crisis. One of the solutions that I heard from one of our gubernatorial candidates was basically establishing a sovereign wealth fund for our state from our tourism dollars, because our tourism funds a lot of the things that we are able to do here in the state. The reason Florida doesn't have a state income tax is because we have so many tourism dollars, and that kind of replaces the need for that income tax. We could take a percentage of those dollars and actually divert them into a sovereign wealth fund to cover natural disasters and take the burden off insurance companies. That'll bring those rates down and possibly even bring more insurance companies back to the state of Florida. So now we have more supply. We're taking some liability off the insurance companies, and we're bringing costs down. So that's one thing we can do to address cost of living here in Florida. Another thing, we got to start keeping these hedge funds and corporations from being able to buy up all these homes.
Yes.
Over the past 5-7 years, especially here, like you can't talk to any native Floridian to tell you that we haven't seen the development here, and how the people that grew up here, the people that were born and raised here, our families. My grandmother was priced out of her home she owned for over 20 years with no payments, but she could no longer afford the property taxes and the utilities because she's in her 80s on a single income. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
So they basically
she owned her house.
They own the house, yes, but again, when you're on that single income, when them property taxes go up and when your costs are going up, keep in mind you don't get a cost of living increase with your retirement.
It doesn't keep pace either, yeah.
And she retired from the post office a long time ago, so that retirement pension that she had, about 15 years ago, as opposed to what the cost of living is now,
not keeping up at all.
Nope.
So yeah, they price out the whole block. People have to sell their homes, and I'm talking about they buying homes within 2 to 3 weeks and then turn them right back around and turn them into duplexes, or turning them into rental properties, or just knocking the whole block down and putting up a condo, and now you got a bunch of rental properties. And that's basically what is happening all across the southern region here in Florida. So we got to find a way
Georgia as well.
Yeah, we got to find a way to keep the hedge funds and the corporations from buying up all the single family homes, which is one thing that I propose in my website as well. Is 2 things. If we can't outright ban them from being able to buy single family homes, and it's going to take more than myself, it'll take a lot of members of Congress to be able to pass legislation like that. And again, that's why we have to focus on putting people in there that aren't beholden to certain groups, so we can actually have legislation like that passed. So if we can't get a ban, we can do things like instituting a bulk tax, which basically says if you buy more than one property at once, we will make it so tax punitive that you will think twice before buying more than one property at once. So that'll keep more inventory on the market, which keep prices down. Also, we can do what's called a right of first refusal, meaning no corporation, hedge fund, none of those groups can buy a home for at least 1 year once it goes on the market. Give a chance for the community and the people to actually buy those homes and buy those homes. If after a year you don't get it, I'm not trying to keep nobody from making no money. So after a year, if you can't get nobody to buy it in the community, then sell it to whomever. But again, getting that right of first refusal for that first year, keeping them.
See, that's a creative idea. I like that.
And it's great because you're offering for a way for communities to keep money keep more of their money in their communities.
Exactly.
And I like that you use that example about your grandmother, how after she retired on a fixed income, they property taxed her out of her home. Which is just crazy.
Yeah.
But, as we get older, our healthcare insurance starts to rise. Our healthcare costs start to rise. Now, I know you talk about protecting families from ruin, and that's something that I've talked about since day one when I became a candidate against Marjorie Taylor Greene. How I feel like it is criminal for people to be ruined by healthcare costs or or file bankruptcy because of their healthcare costs. How do you, when you become a member of Congress, how do you plan on helping the people in Florida's 21st tackle this healthcare crisis and throughout the country as well?
I'm straight up with you, man. I am a proponent for a universal single payer system. Like, I am a proponent for Medicare for all. I believe that in the wealthiest country in the world, there's no reason why we can't have universal health care and be able to take care of anybody and everybody in this country. We literally just saw, you guys know, we literally just saw how many planes go down over the past couple weekends, and you know how much money those things cost.
100 million each.
So what that money could have went towards, you get what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for making sure that we're safe and we're defending ourselves, but it comes a time where we have to actually prioritize the things in this country. And when I say things, I mean the people. People in this country have been left behind. Everywhere that there is universal health care, I talk to people from all different walks of life, all other countries, and I always ask, like, would you trade your healthcare system of universal healthcare for what we have in America? I ain't found one person yet that says that they would trade their universal healthcare for what we have in America. Granted, it has its warts, and I think that it's more of an infrastructure thing as opposed to an actual foundation of what it is, because I believe if we were to go to a system like that, then we would need to be making sure that we're putting as many nurses out there, as many doctors out there, we're building as many hospitals and urgent cares, building the infrastructure to be able to support the system so that it runs the way it needs to. We have the resources because, again, we are the wealthiest country in the world. We can do whatever we want to in terms of money, and we're seeing that because they're about to ask for some more money to fund what they got going on right now. But when we say we want to have money for our health care, it's, where are we going to get that? How are we going to pay for it? Well, it's never how we're going to pay for it when we want to build more destructive things, but when we want to actually save lives, now it's time to be like, well, how are we going to pay for it? The same way we pay for everything. We find a way. We figure out what the numbers are and figure out how much income we need and make it happen.
You see that in every cycle. Republicans talk when the Democrats are in power. Oh, the Democrats are ruining the economy, and they run on it, and they run on fiscal conservatism and saving money. But then when they get in office, they blow up the budget. I mean, Trump found a way to get $10 billion for his quote unquote peace board.
Board of Peace, which is not a government entity.
Yeah, which is not a thing.
Like,
it's not a thing.
He's
got $10 billion in an offshore account somewhere of our money.
I don't understand, like, how we not flipping tables. This man literally just said, I'm taking 10
Tell him
billion.
Again, Bernard.
I'm taking 10 billion of y'all dollars, and I'm gonna put them over here, and y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it. Like, imagine somebody just ran up in your house and say, hey, I'm finna take all your living room I'm taking the TVs, and I'm gonna put them at my house, have fun. Like, that's exactly what happened, and we just all like, okay.
Yep. Crazy, man. So
it feels like an episode of Friday.
Oh yeah,
Debo's coming up in the house just taking your stuff.
It's gonna
be like it's both of ours. But
give me your change.
Yeah, give me your change.
But I wanted to circle back real quick because you're talking about cost of housing, and something you said kind of made my ears perk up. And you said you started talking about hurricanes and the insurance. So we've watched Florida get rocked by these hurricanes year after year. So what role do you feel you can play in tackling climate change, not only for your district, but really the entire country at this point?
Yeah, because these natural disasters are affecting a lot of communities
Not
here in the
just Florida.
Southeast, especially. I mean, you just had North Carolina not too long ago get devastated by floods. You had some of that here in Georgia as well. So it's not just Florida, but you guys get it the most. You're like the epicenter for hurricanes.
I will never understand how a place that is called the Sunshine State does not lead the entire country in like solar energy. Like, like you're literally the Sunshine State but do not lead. Like, you should be leading industry in the solar energy.
Thank you.
Somehow they look at that as woke.
It rains 3 times a year in Arizona. I'm like, dude, just give everybody like 10 grand. Tell them put solar panels on their houses and just hook up a bunch of batteries like a freaking car and let's fix this. Like,
but you know why we won't fix it, man? We got too many politicians that are beholden to the oil.
Big
coal.
oil.
Let's go back to clean coal.
And all this other nonsense. And at the end of the day, you know, I'll never forget. I was watching the news, and this guy. Go back to what we're talking about having some direction coming out of high school. He got an apprenticeship as an electrician. So when he graduated, he was like 18 or 19 years old, and I think this was up in Maine. And this was during the Biden years. So we were doing the infrastructure, and the clean energy was booming. So they had a huge solar panel project up in Maine that he was a part of, and he got a union job, and he got to make some real bread because you need electricians to hook up them panels.
Yep.
So fast forward to now, and they done eliminated all the clean energy initiatives, and basically, and because he voted for this, put him out of a job. So he voted to put himself out of a job for helping provide clean energy. He saw the benefits of clean energy. He was making money. He was making a good livelihood
and voted
from helping the environment, but still fell prey to the propaganda of we don't need this woke climate, don't believe in climate change. Like, bro, you are literally helping you're helping saving energy, you're helping provide clean energy to your state and your city. You are making money, good money for you and your family. You see the benefits of this, you see the benefits and the cost savings from having solar. You see all of that, and then you heard somebody say climate change is woke and voted against it, and now you're like, oh, my bad.
The felony.
So that's my thing. It's like here in Florida, we should embrace science. I know people on the outside think everybody here in Florida is crazy. We're not all crazy. It's just the people with the microphones are the craziest for whatever reason. But no, we definitely want to protect our environment here. Florida is a place where there are our natural resources and natural beauty is being overdeveloped. And for us people who born and raised there, I was born here in 1988. I'm native Floridian, 4th generation. I remember going up to Lake Okeechobee and fishing with my granddad, trips to the Keys, out in the Everglades, like all these different things that make Florida are starting to dissipate because we're not taking climate change seriously. We keep, selling every piece of land to the real estate developers that come in from out of town. And there's nobody fighting against it. In my district alone, there were 3 proposals for AI data centers in my district alone, 1 in each county. We're fighting hard to make sure that doesn't happen because again, you're talking about noise pollution, you're talking about the water consumption, you're talking about the pollutants around for the environment. And it's literally it's not sustainable, and we're already sinking as a state. Just being 100 with you, we need to make sure we're doing some corrective things to reverse what's going on. Which is why, again, I make it a point to let people know, like, I don't take the big oil money, I don't take the sugar money down here in Florida. Like, I don't do none of that. So when I'm making decisions, it's for the betterment of us Floridians, us people that have been here, that know what this place once was and what it can be, and are tired of seeing what's happening to our state. So